There you are. I was beginning to worry as the hours went by. How did you sleep? Oh no, don't be troubled. I was only playing to ease my mind while I waited for you to wake up. You didn't interrupt any vital practicing. Come over here, my sweet pet. I'd like to inspect your neck. Sit beside me. That's it. Let me slip my fingers around your chin and tilt your head to the side. Let's see. My fang marks are clean. They don't look irritated or inflamed at all. That's a relief. They'll heal in time. Are they troubling you at all? Yes, I'm afraid a little discomfort is unavoidable. Luckily for you, I've had many years of experience looking after humans. I'm prepared at all times. That is why I keep this tiny vial of ointment on me. Here, just relax, all right? I'll apply it for you. It's okay. I know it's cold. I'm just going to dab it on and gently spread it around the fang marks. Also, I'll put a bandage over it all. I always have one or two of these on me too. There is something I feel the need to apologize for. When I first feed on someone, I usually begin with the arm. It is farther from the heart, and it renders the human less fatigued. But when I looked at you, felt you so close to me, you smelled so good. And I hadn't feasted on such quality blood for so long I was starving for it. I hope that going straight for the neck on the first night wasn't too much for you. I'm very sorry. I know life hasn't treated you fairly, but I should have. I promise I'll take good care of you the rest of your time with me. You'll need time to heal. Fortunately, I won't be needing any blood for an entire week. In the meantime, it'd be best for you to relax and regain your strength. For a start, you need to eat breakfast. One of the largest aspects of healing is taking in the proper nutrients. I have a hunch that you haven't been well fed lately, even if you are not as scrawny as your fellow vessels. That only makes me wonder how your blood was so satisfying. You must have a naturally robust flavor. But enough about that. Let's head down to the kitchen. I had an order of food delivered this morning and stored away into the cool rooms. We have fresh eggs, milk, cheese, plenty of fruits and vegetables, meats, you name it, and I bought it. I assumed it was the safest way to go, since I don't know what you like. Why do you look so surprised? I told you that I'd look after you. anything you want, I'll grant you in exchange for your sumptuous blood. But come along, let us go and see what foods strike your fancy. I don't think I've ever seen an omelette flipped so expertly. You used so many ingredients, too. I'm glad to see you can cook on your own. But don't forget, you don't have to. I can always hire a cook if you'd rather not. All right, that's fair then. You seem to be very at home here in my kitchen, so I won't argue with you. Oh, did you pour this tea for me? Oh, well, thank you. I can still drink it, I suppose. But I'm not going to be able to appreciate the flavor the way you will. Still, it is hot and yes, from what I remember, this is what good tea tastes like. Thank you for making me some. Please enjoy your own now, as well as that masterpiece of an omelette. You've been running around, dicing and scrambling and cooking. You deserve to sit and revel in your creation now. So eat up. Is it good? Why, of course it is. You put so much care into making it. This is as good a time as any to give you this. I pulled it from the office for you to use. Assuming you can write, this pad of paper and pencil will help you tell me what you're trying to say when I can't understand your signing. Is that all right? I'm very glad. Here you are. Are you really that grateful for such a small token? That is quite adorable. Now that you have a better means of communicating with me, do you mind if I ask you a few specific questions? I'd like to get to know you better. Also, you can ask me questions this way too. What do you say? Yes? Very good. Your handwriting is very structured. How admirable. All right, First, tell me, where were you before you came to Reggie's to be sold off? It's okay. Take your time to write down the answer. Oh my, you lived there? And that's so far away from here. It's the next country over. No wonder you find it hard to speak to anyone. Signing is different from place to place, I believe. Do you mind me asking what you used to do? Did you have an occupation, or were you from a wealthy family? I was a cook. I'm not surprised at all. The skill you displayed for me had to come from somewhere. A question for me, all right? How old are you? I'd say that's rude, but I am a vampire, so it's a valid question. I was 27 when I was turned, but 344 years have passed since that day. So, if you are counting the years I have been on this earth, the number would be 371. I am still very young for a vampire. What about you? What is your age? Ah, yes, that's about what I'd guessed. Now, I know this might be a heavy question, maybe too broad for you to answer simply, but how did you end up here? What made you decide to become a vessel? Anything I had, I lost. That is it. Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I won't ask for any more details. What are you asking me now? Haven't you lost everything? It depends on how you look at it. When I was turned, I lost my human life, but it was a miserable one. Times were much different, and many common ills killed even able-bodied people without the healing we have today. I don't regret losing the suffering that my human life brought me. Of course, watching my family succumb to age or illness and ultimately pass on, that was difficult. However, it happens to all mortals, even to vampires at some point in the future. As calloused as it may sound, I have become accustomed to the fleeting presence of human lifespans. I've had so many friends and companions or enemies over my vampiric lifetime, and most of them have passed on. Many of my kind can become jaded and twisted with the apparent senselessness of it all, but the way I see it, humans are like beautiful flowers, beautiful, important, unique each in their own right. They are to be appreciated and savored while they bloom, however short a time that may be. Are gardeners jaded that their flowers do not live as long as they do? Are they appreciated any less for that? It is simply a fact of life that is important to make peace with. Otherwise, life will become too much to bear. But with all this talk of flowers and gardens, the grounds here are quite lovely, even though I haven't had them kept up in my absence. You appear to be finished with your meal. Shall we head outside? Ah, isn't it beautiful? Acres and acres of green. The ponds are green as well, but I'll have that dealt with soon enough. All those bushes are normally clipped into lovely shapes and kept trim by a groundskeeper. I'm quite in need of staff, but I was in more immediate need of blood, so they will come slower. This path will be weeded, those ponds filled and stocked with colorful fish, those empty pots filled with beautiful flowers and greenery. Ah, it will be as stunning as it was when I was last in residence here. Oh, that, my sweet, is one of the gems of this property. That weeping willow is ancient. You won't find one half its size within 100 miles. Ah, it's so picturesque, isn't it? Branching and bowing right there on the edge of the lake. I do love coming back here to see it growing, decade by decade. I'll die before I see it cut down. Here, let's cross the bridge and sit beneath it. There should still be a stone bench there. Ah, yes, right where I left it. It's like a giant, natural dome of solitude, isn't it? Curtains of branches and leaves, shifting, rustling, but feeling protective all around us. Ah, I love it here. This is my favorite place on the entire grounds. Before I could come here during the day, I would sit in the gap there, in the trunk, where the mighty arms branch out, and I would watch the stars. I would have lights placed all around the lake and the garden too, but I always loved looking at the stars. I'll have to bring you out here one night and show you just how lovely it is, provided you don't mind sleeping half the next day away. Somehow I doubt you will, after all you've been through. Whatever led you to me, you will find your every need met now. No more worries, no more struggles. Just be here for me, and I'll lavish you with everything and anything you could ever want. What's this? Another question for me. Do you want more from me than blood? Well, your companionship, I suppose. Your conversation, such as it is. If you teach me to sign, maybe I'll teach you the basics of piano, if that interests you. There are many lessons on many things that I might give you. I enjoy passing on the range of skills I've been able to acquire. Must I share your bed, my body in repayment for your kindness? Oh, I see. That is a very understandable and common misconception, my sweet. Vampires by nature have an allure about us. However, we do not express physical intimacy the way humans do. Indeed, a bite is the most sensual and pleasurable act we can experience. Apart from that, we do not engage in such an activity. We do not even feel the desires that humans do, not to the same extent. We enjoy the closeness of others and sharing what could be considered an extent of physical intimacy, but a vampire stroking or kissing a human's hair or face does not mean the same thing to a vampire as it might to a human. Many of the rumors of vampires doing anything more than that are simply that, rumors. Does that make sense to you? Sounds confusing. I suppose it may be to a human. We are different beings, therefore we don't experience life the same way. Let me put it in simple terms, as far as what I expect from you. I may want to cuddle you, or kiss your skin, or say sweet things to you, but those actions do not indicate a desire for anything more. You are like a glorified pet to me. Does that help? I'm glad. I'm sorry if you had that expectation hanging in the back of your mind this whole time. I should have made it clear last night. I know most humans find these topics embarrassing to discuss, but I wanted to add something just so that you know. While I may not have these urges, I understand that you might. If there comes a time when you wish to find a fellow human companion, whether long-term or simply for a single night, you have my blessing to do so. I shall not interfere. You are not what I expected. Most of us aren't in this new age, but the rumors of the old age still cling to us. With that weight lifted, would you like to see the rest of the grounds? Perhaps a tour of the house as well? All right. Then let's get... Oh, what's the matter? Are you not feeling well? Oh, careful. Looks like this little bit of exercise after all that cooking was too much for you. I did take so much of your blood. Don't worry. I'll take you back to your room. What's wrong? Would you prefer that I let you stumble along rather than helping you? I know for a fact that you almost fainted just now. I'm not letting you walk on your own. I even snagged your writing things as well. Don't worry about it. Vampires are strong enough to bend steel. Carrying you around is nothing to me. Let's head back to your room. There you are. Now let's get these shoes off and put you back to bed. Would you like to change your clothes first? All right, I guess you did choose more casual and comfortable clothes anyway. There, now just lay back and let me pull the covers in close around you. What are you trying to sign? I'm sorry. Here, use the paper, please. Thank you. Oh, is that the sign for thank you? Thank you? You're welcome, my sweet. I want to make sure you're comfortable and cared for. Here, let me pour you a glass of water. Take a drink, and you can leave it at your bedside. That's it. Very good. I'm not used to sleeping through the day. That might become more common than you're used to, my sweet. My schedule flips back and forth, depending on my fancy. You can sleep or wake at any hour you please, provided you always feed me each week. Now, you just relax back into those lovely pillows. Feel the soft cotton sheets, the warm blankets. May I stroke your face? Would that be soothing to you, or do you want me to leave? All right. You have such wonderfully soft skin. May I kiss your forehead? Okay. little human feast. My sweet, I am so glad that you feel safer around me now. I'll never betray the trust you've given me or take it for granted. You just keep those precious eyes closed and have a wonderful rest.